Let me tell you, you haven't really lived until you've had a pack of HOA board members screaming that you're illegally accessing property while you're lugging boxes of your deployed daughter's military gear into your own lake cabin, trying to surprise her after nearly a year overseas. Yeah, that's how my week started. And trust me, it only got wilder from there. Picture this. I'm standing there with sweat running down my back, Riley's storage boxes in my arms, and Marcia, the self-appointed queen of our so-called homeowners association, threatening to call 911 on me, a 52-year-old dad, for violating community rules. What they didn't realize was that by the end of the week, there wouldn't be an HOA left to enforce anything, and Sunset Ridge Lake was about to become famous for something other than its fishing. I guess I should back up. A second name's Frank Harrison, been an electrician nearly 2 decades, and I run a little company in Wisconsin. 3 years ago, cancer took my wife, Lisa, strongest woman I've ever known, a nurse in the heart of our family. Our daughter Riley's 25 now. Staff Sergeant Army, been out in Kuwait for 9 months doing the kind of work that makes you proud and terrified at the same time. She's got her mother's big heart, and unfortunately, her old man's stubborn streak. The apartment lease ran out while she was gone, so her life's been stacked in a storage unit, $120 a month so her books and medals could gather dust. I figured why not do something right for once, haul her stuff up to our lake cabin, get it all ready. So when she finally walks through that door, she gets to feel like her mother never left. Sunset Ridge Lake isn't much 50-some cabins scattered around a postcard-worthy lake. Lisa picked it, said it felt like somewhere you come home to. She was right as usual. We built good memories there. Not always perfect, but the kind you hang on to after the storms blow through. I got up at dawn, loaded the truck with boxes labeled SSG Riley Harrison deployed Kuwait, and drove up, telling myself this was how you keep a promise to the people you love. But as soon as I get there, I spot this big, heavy-duty lock on the cabin door, something I never put on. Definitely not your usual HOA deadbolt either. So I call Marcia. It's just a new security improvement, Frank. She tells me all clipped and busy. You should have gotten the notice. I say I didn't. She hangs up before I can argue. Maybe I missed a mailer, but locking someone out of their own property, even for Marcia, that's pushing it. So I do what any stubborn dad would do. I break out the angle grinder and pop the lock. Step inside, and it smells like a place that's been closed up too long. I start hauling in Riley's boxes, pausing over her deployment medals and the letters she wrote home but never mailed. I prop her in dress uniform on the mantle and just say, "Almost ready for you to come home, sweetheart." It's hitting me hard missing Lisa, picturing Riley coming home to an empty house. I get choked up, then I hear the neighbor Linda Foster walking up. "Frank, you got permission to be in there?" she asks. I want to snap, but I just say, "Linda, I own this place. Been paying the mortgage 15 years. She gives me this principal at recess smile, telling me there are new procedures. I start doubting myself. Maybe I did miss a rule buried in the fine print. About an hour later, Danny Burt comes over. He's a retired Marine, sharp-eyed and always honest. "Be careful with Marcia," he tells me. Last year she called code enforcement on the Turners for a flagpole right when their son shipped out. He says he's seen the pattern Marcia going after military families. I try to laugh it off, figure he's exaggerating. Maybe she's just strict about standards. But Danny says she's planning something. I brush it off, thinking about Riley just wanting to get her room right. I spend the rest of the morning moving Riley's things, her books, her collection of postcards from all over the world. Around noon, I see Marcia herself standing outside, arms folded, eyes locked on those boxes labeled with Army stickers. She pulls out her phone, snaps pictures of my truck, then whispers to Linda something about people who think the rules don't apply to them. I start to feel that knot in my stomach, but I ignore it, pushing through the emotions, telling myself all that matters is Riley's homecoming. Then out of nowhere, sirens. 2 police cars roll up. Officers get out looking puzzled. "Sir, we got a call about unauthorized access," one says, trying not to roll his eyes. I explain I own this property, but Marcia steps in, calm and professional, accusing me of breaking community rules. That's when I lose my temper, just a crack in my voice, but it's enough. She's serving overseas, and I just want her boots by the fireplace like her mom would have done. The officers nod, say it's a civil matter, but Marcia keeps pushing, spouting off about symbols that might cause division. She means my daughter's military service. Linda sides with her, and I feel betrayed. As the officers leave, Officer Chen pulls me aside. You're not the first. Marcia's called 911 on military families before. That stops me cold. Turns out while their loved ones were deployed, she'd slap families with violation notices, flags, cars, even kids playing too loud. The Martinez family, Bob, my neighbor, lost their cabin over it. She waits until they're overseas, Frankie tells me, then she attacks. That's when I realize this isn't about forms, it's about targeting military families. Danny brings me a stack of old violation notices, every single one timed for maximum damage flags after deployment fines for lawn grass while the spouse is gone, noise complaints against little kids whose dads were in Syria. She's got a system, Danny says, flipping through his records like a Marine on patrol. 9 years, every military family driven out one by one. I realize Riley and I are next on her list. I call Riley that night, try to hide how rattled I am. She's excited to come home, and I promise her it'll be okay. But as soon as I hang up, I make a decision, enough is enough. Danny and I take every violation, every fake letter, and drive to the county office the next day. The clerk searches for Sunset Ridge Lake HOA, nothing comes up. Not expired, never existed. 9 years of fake dues, fines, and legal threats, $380,000 gone. My legs almost buckle. This isn't just harassment, this is fraud. Back at the cabin, Danny and I line up all the evidence letters, fake tax liens checks, all deposited into Marcia's P.O. box. Every document signed president of an HOA that never existed. Then Linda, shaken and pale, brings a box she found in her basement. Old military rejection letters, diary entries, newspaper clippings with red marks over every military family name. Turns out Marcia wanted to join the Navy 30 years ago, got rejected for a heart condition. Instead of moving on, she spent decades taking it out on military families, keeping score of everyone she drove away. It all comes crashing down. When I confront her on my porch, neighbors gather as she breaks down screaming about not getting the respect she deserved. Linda records the whole thing. Marcia's confession, the whole twisted history. That night we call an emergency community meeting. 47 angry neighbors pack into the clubhouse. Marcia walks in like she's still queen, clutching a PowerPoint, but it's over. I show the county certificate, no legal HOA ever. Danny reveals the fake financials. Linda plays Marcia's meltdown. The room explodes, people waving violation notices, demanding restitution. We vote one holdout at first until Clark from cabin 14 stands up, holds a notice and says, when someone threatens your kid for flying a flag that's not rules, that's hate. The motion to dissolve passes. Marcia storms out, but it's too late. Evidence in hand, we file a county fraud complaint. Within hours, county investigators confirm the fake HOA is dead. By sunrise, Marcia's facing fraud, charges her house up for sale, and for the first time in 9 years, Sunset Ridge is finally free. Next day, Riley comes home. She walks in, sees her photos, her medals, the flag flying from half the cabins on the lake. Neighbors line up to thank her for her service. For the first time since Lisa passed, I feel like our family is whole again. That evening, we sit on the deck watching the sun dip behind the trees, Riley leaning into my shoulder. She tells me, Dad, sometimes you have to fight for home. I look around, listen to the laughter drifting over the water, and I know she's right. 6 months later, Riley buys the cabin next door. Sunset Ridge has more military families than ever. Marcia sends restitution checks from Florida, $500 a month for 15 years. Our story goes viral. I get asked to speak at veterans events, homeowners meetings, even legislative hearings. Everywhere I tell people to stand up, check the paperwork, and never let bullies decide who belongs. You know what I mean? This isn't just about military families. It's about what kind of community you want to live in. So what do you think? Was I right to stand up, or did I go too far? Drop a comment. Tell me your wildest HOA or neighbor story. And let's keep this conversation going. Because if there's one thing I learned, it's this: the truth always finds a way out.